I'm going to try to do this in one take, so bear with me. But today we're going to go over the Hanna Barbera comics that DC has been putting out. The first one being the Flintstones. For me, this is probably the most familiar. I didn't watch the cartoons when I was a kid. For me, they were always kind of like drab or depressing, or everyone kind of seemed upset with each other, just like a real downer, and so like they never seemed appealing to me. But I knew the Flintstones, you know, I watched the movie, I ate the vitamins, it was like something everyone kind of just knew back in the day. And so when this first issue came out, I was kind of hesitant about it because I have no idea what reading about the prehistoric times would be like, and I'm really glad I picked it up. Somebody had recommended it to me, and the first issue is actually probably the greatest, but the whole series is just really, really well done. And so this first issue, it jumps in with Barney and Fred going to a meeting for their PTSD for stuff they had to deal with in the war. And the whole book's kind of just like that, you know, we get to watch them create civilization, and we get to see them, you know, fight over religion and fight over sciences, and there's some political stuff, and it's pretty funny. It can be really serious, can be dark at times, but there's also really these really nice, like, heartfelt moments. And it's interesting because the Flintstones, the actual, like, family, isn't even the best part of the series. Like, the kids are grown up, and Wilma's an artist, and, you know, Fred's dealing with stuff at work, and I can super relate. But the best part for me about this book was the appliances, because in the Flintstones, all of the animals are appliances, and, you know, like the birds, like the feather duster, or like the shower head's an elephant. For me, my favorite part was the armadillo bowling ball and the shop vac elephant. And their little friendship and their little story, I seriously cried over these characters multiple times. It's so good. And the way everything ties together, you know, there's some funny moments, but this book might have crushed me multiple times in the best possible way. It was such a good series. It was up for 2 Eisners, and unfortunately, I think Mr. Miracle stole both, which, you know, that's a whole other story of goodness. But yeah, really, I wish the Flintstones would have gotten just a little bit more recognition, because it's such a good series. Please read it. I need it to be popular, so maybe we can get a 3rd volume. It's 12 issues. There's 2 volumes out. They might have some big oversized edition. If not, somebody write DC. Tell them I need it. It's the greatest thing. And it's by Mark Russell. He's the guy who did Prez. I haven't read Prez yet, but I've heard good things. And he actually, because the Flintstones did so well, he was actually able to do another series called Snagglepuss, but that comes later. The end of the Flintstones, they do kind of this crossover with Booster Gold, which wasn't bad. I didn't like it as much as I liked the rest of the series, but they had this little sneak preview of the Jetsons, and it was really interesting because it kind of gave you the background of Rosie, which I had, again, no idea about the Jetsons. Kind of the same thing with the Flintstones, like, just never really felt like it was for me. And so going in, I had no idea about the Jetsons. I have no idea about anyone's backstory. But in this small crossover, in this little sneak peek that they did, it was how they got the robot. And it was kind of dark, and again, asking a lot of really, like, hard-hitting questions. And so I was kind of expecting this series to be as deep and political as the Flintstones. Unfortunately, they kind of went a different way with it. They went a little bit more like science mystery and a little more like family fun. A lot of twists and turns, a lot of things I didn't expect. Maybe not all for the best, though. I honestly think if this series would have had like a few more issues, they could have stretched the stories out and did everything that they wanted to with it. But because it was only 1 volume, it was only one quick 6-issue little thing, it kind of feels like they just had to, like, wrap it up real quick. And again, a lot of things I wasn't expecting, a lot of twists, a lot of turns. sometimes they just kind of got caught up in science-y talk, though, instead of, like, moving things forward. I don't know. I don't like saying bad things about comics. If I had to recommend that one, I don't know if I would. Somebody read it. Somebody change my mind. Let me know. But, yeah, so reading the Jetsons after reading the Flintstones, it's you might even want to do it the opposite way. Maybe if you read the Jetsons and then read the Flintstones, you'll appreciate the Jetsons a little bit more. I was just kind of biased because this thing was, like, seriously the greatest thing I had read of 2017. I'm serious. So I was super excited for when his other series, by Mark Russell, came out, and it's called Snagglepuss, and I knew a little bit of the Flintstones. I can name everybody at least, you know. I know a little bit of the Jetsons. I can name 3 out of 5 at least. Snagglepuss, absolutely no idea. No idea what I was walking into. I had the bar set pretty dang high, and they nailed it. Okay, after the Flintstones, they did this series. It's called Exit Stage Left Snagglepuss Chronicles, and I'm gonna warn you right now, it's the gayest book. It's in the best way. Like, the character, Snagglepuss himself, is dealing with being a gay director on Broadway in a time where you weren't really allowed to be. And so it's them sneaking off to gay bars to, you know, finally not feel so alone. And you get all these cool, like, little backgrounds through Huckleberry Finn, too. And it's really sad. It's a really, really just sad story. And I almost didn't keep reading it because of it being so down. But the thing that kept me going through this series was the hypocrisy, because anytime I turned a page, all of a sudden somebody was doing something they didn't believe in, and it blew my mind, and it kind of says a lot about the world and how we have to present ourselves and the freedom to present ourselves. It's a good book. It's very moving. There might be some triggers for certain people. If you don't like the gays, stay away. This book isn't for you. If you do like the gays, I love it. It's really good. It's really moving. It's really heartfelt. And I feel for Huckleberry Finn and Huckleberry Finn Jr. So, read it. Let me know. Those are the only 3 I've read. If you know any of the other ones are good, let me know. Because I am kind of interested in Rough and Ready. I don't know if it's worth the time. There's also Future Quest and probably a handful of other ones I don't even recognize or know about. So, yeah, that's it. That's all I got. One take, one breath. I'll see y'all later.